Or are we waiting for somebody to join here?
I think so.
Just waiting for it to go on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I am.
Are you in?
Yeah,
You watching it?
yeah.
Oh, wow, Peter's right there.
Okay.
Hi, Penelope.
We're on. Okay. Counselors and staff and guests, good afternoon and welcome to the public open house for zoning provisions for travel and tent trailers. There has been an exposure in our area, and that's why we're wearing masks today. Can everybody hear me? Or anybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Good, okay. Again, I apologize for the mask. I just want to point out the purpose of this public open house is to provide an overview of the proposed amendment and current provisions in the zoning bylaw and provide an opportunity for the public to provide comments and opinion on the proposed amendment. I want to be clear, a decision on this amendment will not be made at this meeting. We are only here to listen to the public recommendations and gather information only. This is the second public meeting in our attempt to hear both sides of a controversial question. Notice of this meeting was provided in the newsletter accompanying the 2022 interim tax bills mailed to every property owner in January 2022. As of today, we have received 2 requests to address council by Zoom, and we have 2 written emails that I will be reading out for counselors and the public to hear as well. Our first presenter is on at 4:15 approximately. So I'm going to start with the 2 emails. The first one from Peter and Jane McCann. As per our telephone conversation, Jane and I would like to submit the under noted comment on the proposed new trailer zoning bylaw. We are perfectly happy with the current 2-hectare minimum limit for rural zone property, but would support a reduction to 1 hectare for rural zone only. We do not want this reduction for residential lakefront properties. Our primary concern is garbage, noise, and the corresponding negative impact on property values of adjacent lakefront lots with homes built on them. These homes are currently assessed at very high rates, resulting in high property taxes. Having a trailer park next door to these homes will not enhance market value, and we doubt that MPAC will consider this in their assessment process. Thank you for adding this comment on our behalf. Regards, Peter and Jane McCann. The second written submission is from John and Sheila Richards from Aquabi Lake. We appreciate all the time and effort that has been put into revising this bylaw. My family camped for several years on our lot before deciding to build our permanent home because of the friendships we formed with our neighbors and all the advantages of living here full time. Upon my retirement, there was no hesitation about moving here full time. The township benefits financially through taxes and money spent to live in the community. Unfortunately, by stipulating that lot sizes have to be at least a hectare in size, 95% of owners will be eliminated from qualifying for this bylaw provision. Almost all lakefront lots are around 1 acre in size. Because of this, the bylaw change as it stands is just a waste of everyone's time and effort. If you want to increase the tax base and stimulate the local economy, then change the lot size to 1 acre from 1 hectare. Thank you for your time, and thank you to council for all their hard work on our behalf. So, as I mentioned earlier, it is a contentious issue, and we will be going over these and the information that we received at our first public meeting in the fall. Now, our first speaker tonight is Penelope Wallace, and I'm not sure if Penelope's there yet. Okay. Penelope, can you hear me?
Your mic isn't on, Penelope. There you go.
There. Thanks very much. It's on now, hopefully.
Right, Penelope, I know it's not quite 4:15, but I wondered, I know you're ready to speak. So would you like to take the floor, please?
Thanks very much, Mayor Piper. Mayor Piper and councillors, Mickey and I are respectfully submitting this. We live at 68 Pine Drive, and we wish to express our opposition to the proposed zoning bylaw amendment to amend the provisions of section 3.44 of the Township of Nipissing zoning bylaw 2020-20, which are zoning provisions for the trailers, for the storage actually, and parking of trailers, motorhomes, tents, tent trailers, and campers. Prior to the passing of zoning bylaw 2020-20, the township provided numerous opportunities for public input from property owners. In addition, council and Township of Nipissing staff prudently contracted the services of professional land planners to be in attendance at the public meetings, to respond to and to explain different queries, all queries. As well, staff attended to it, answer any questions and make any explanations. This was to ensure that the wording was the wording in the zoning bylaw as it exists was reflecting the input received from area property owners and would also reflect best land planning practices for our township. The bylaw, which was passed on December 1st, 2020, included section 3.44, providing for the provision for the parking and storage of trailers, motorhomes, and campers in rural zones only. This was deemed by council, property owners, and the professional land planners to be deemed as good land planning and in the best interests, health, and safety of all property owners in the township. My understanding is that after the passing of the zoning bylaw and upon the passing of the tent and trailer bylaw, or the tent and trailer bylaw in progress, I'm not sure which, some property owners came forward, which they absolutely have the right to do. And some individuals do not feel, as I just heard in one of the letters, that the wording is appropriate, and thus this proposed amendment for section 3.44. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Respectfully, all residential zones were excluded in section 3.44 for good reason. The suggestion to provide for the parking and storage of trailers and motorhomes and campers, et cetera, in shoreline residential and limited service residential, not all residential zones, my understanding is just those two, which are amongst the highest impact assessed properties in the township, in our opinion, doesn't appear wise, and this was not recommended by the professional land planners. notwithstanding the additional revenue to the township by licensing of motorhomes, which we do agree with, we oppose any residential zones be included in section 3.44. We also oppose the reduction of the required minimum lot area from 2 hectares, recommended again and deemed good land planning, down to 1 hectare. This is a reduction of 60% or 50% rather of what was actually recommended. We also oppose the reduction of the required minimum distance of 500 meters from the shoreline to 30 meters. This is a reduction of 94% of what was actually recommended by the land planners and put in our zoning bylaw. Our opposition is solely based on putting the best interest, health, and safety of all landowners first in council's decision-making, and in relying on the best practices as proposed by professional land planners in the extensive work that everyone put into the original wording of the zoning bylaw and of the zoning bylaw 2020 as it exists now. Thanks very much for listening to us. We will submit a written copy to the township so that it can be part of this, pardon me, so that it can be on file. Thanks kindly.
Thank you very much. I appreciate all your comments. I've written down, but a hard copy would be great to have in our files as well.
Okay.
Now we have one other person.
We have them scheduled for 4:30, so we can have a bit of time.
So, and the other person hasn't come online yet.
I'm checking now.
So
Follow up.
as soon as they come online, we'll go to them. But in the meantime, yes, everybody can take a little break because we're just waiting for the next person to speak via Zoom. I don't believe there's anyone else.
No, that's what we have.
We have the 2 written submissions, Penelope and 1 Brian Tripp.
We've received calls at the office this afternoon of numerous people going to be submitting more written submissions, but we don't know what they are at this point.
So we will just take them all. And like we said, this has been ongoing and there's not going to be any hasty decision made. So, pardon?
Brian Tripp is on.
Okay, Mr. Tripp is on the line.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I'm just trying to organize myself here.
I know you were supposed to be on at 4:30. I just wondered if you were available, if you'd like to begin earlier.
Sure, yeah, I can begin. I'm sorry, I don't have a prepared statement. I just wanted to come in and talk, give my perspective. Okay, yeah, thank you. Thanks for, well, first of all, thank you for considering the amendment. I mean, I guess I'll give our situation. We just bought a property in the township recently. There was a trailer on the property when we bought it, and we're hoping, we love the area. We've been renting for years in the area. We'd love to develop something permanent there, when we can afford it, basically. But we sort of spent all the money we had buying the property, so we can't do that yet. So in our situation, we have young kids now. I don't know exactly when we'll be. It'll be some years. Hopefully not too many, but it'll be some years before we can build as we'd like to. So I mean, from our perspective, I mean, having a trailer there makes it practical for us to be there, to go up there with the kids, and have some time, with the family on this property, in the meantime, before we can, save us some more money to build. So in our particular sort of geometry of property, the original bylaw would prevent us from doing that. So we'd have to sort of, we don't have an option. I think we'd have to sell the trailer and just not show up for probably several years until we could save up enough money to build. So that would be a big disappointment for us. So I mean, if there's some way, the new amendment looks wonderful. I was really happy to see that it's being considered. If there's some way to make that happen, I understand it's controversial and other people are in very different situations, and I have some, not that I haven't seen them, but I have some intuition about how this could affect other people in sort of the opposite way. But from our perspective, it'll be sort of transformative for. It'll just allow us to enjoy this property that we've bought. We're excited about. It's properties it's very expensive. So I mean, we're really helping to. I think the prices have gone up a lot. Sort of we didn't. We had to pay the house down to a certain extent before we could buy the property in the first place, and had to sort of use all our resources to do that. So we're really boxed in at this point. We just need more time to sort of to do anything different. But in the meantime, we'll have some good years with family in Nipissing with this amendment, and maybe not so much without. So that's my situation. Thanks very much for giving me time, and I appreciate the extended discussion and everybody really trying to do the right thing.
Thank you, Brian. Like we've told the other presenters, it is a controversial decision. It's one of these ones that unfortunately everybody isn't going to be happy, but I had to speak to somebody else today and speak about the greater good. So hopefully we will make a good decision, and we will make this in the future. And I'm not even saying near future. We're in the middle of budget now, that kind of thing, and we need time. We're going to get more written comments after this meeting. So we'll go through the comments, we'll go through the presentations, and we'll look at both sides to this and try to come up with a logical and reasonable answer in the long run. So I thank you for your presentation. I thank Penelope. I don't think they're on, but the McCanns and the Richards and the other written submissions we're going to get. And otherwise, I'll just suggest that we will make our decision, and I hope all counselors heard everything tonight. We'll be more informed later on, and this discussion will come up again. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for the presentations, the letters, and thank the counselors for being here, staff here as well. And we will move forward with this at our earliest convenience. So thank you all. Good night. From John.